day to you all. Welcome to our YouTube channel once again. And this is the day that I am going to make some yeast bread, yeast raisin bread to supplement in between the sourdough. The sourdough sometimes takes a little while, and I had messed up a little bit on my starter. If there's too big of amount of starter, your fresh flour and water that you add doesn't empower it enough to rise bread. So that's what I've been facing. So today I am making a yeast bread for y'all to watch how I make my yeast bread. It's the easiest thing to me because I grew up making it. I remember when I was a little girl, and I don't know, I probably started about 8 years old, and Mom would tell me to get a 13-quart stainless steel mixing bowl and put it on the chair, and she told me the amounts of water and lard and salt and sugar that you put in there and yeast. I would mix it and put it down on the chair and stump it with my hands, all by hand. However, today it's not done by hand anymore since I was gifted this nice Bosch mixer. I really love my Bosch mixer for making bread, and I haven't used it in a long time. I don't know, once in a while. And then I started with the sourdough and I mixed that all by hand. The first thing is 4.5 cups of water. Three. And the fourth one I'm going to put in the microwave again and make it warm. This is the instant yeast, and I actually don't have to soak this, so I like to get it active and going. It makes my bread raise faster. 2, 3, and just stir it around a little bit like that. And I let it set till I got the rest of my stuff in there. I like to do my oil first. I use this olive oil. I'm gonna do the oil first so my cup is oiled and the honey doesn't stick to my cup, if that makes sense. The 1/2 cup of oil that goes in here. Now I can put my honey in here. I warmed this honey up a little bit to get it out of the jar. So we're gonna need a little bit more honey. This is a wildflower honey. Now we'll fill this up to 1/2 cup. There's the 1/2 cup of honey. And we'll dribble this in here. 3 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3. See, that yeast is getting bubbly in there. Today I'm using the King Midas special flour that I buy at our local bulk food store, where they get 50-pound bags of flour in. And they bag it out, and it makes so it's a little bit cheaper, I think. Sometimes it's not, depending what kind of a flour it is. So yeah, let's put the flour in there. Now I just mixed up the honey and the oil and the water that I put in there. And the salt, I just mixed that up a little bit. And now I dried my cup so I can measure flour. And it asks for 12 cups of flour. And it says here that you can do 9 white flour and 3 wheat flour, but I will probably just be using white today. See that mixture looking like pudding? I'll put it back on the mixer stand here. Okay, I've got 4 cups in there, and I'll put 2 more in, then I'll have half the flour in there. And Now I am ready to put the yeast in. So I'm gonna scrape this out off of my spoon. Goes back in the sink, and I'll put the rest of my yeast in. You can see what it looks like. The whole glob in there. So it is ready to go. It's got some rising power already in there. Anyhow, now we mix this a little while. Okay, now we've got 6 more cups of flour to put in there. 1. Okay, we'll put this last cup full in. And we'll get that to mixing. That's all on my first setting in this Bosch mixer. Now we're just gonna let this mix for about 5 minutes. Oops. Got the dough flying out now. And I just cleaned my floor yesterday. Now this is a test that I do if I can take this dough and spread it out like this, stretch it without getting a lot of holes in it. If you can do that and it doesn't stick to your fingers a lot, I don't have any oil or anything on my fingers, so if you can do that with your bread dough, it is ready to let it rise for a while. And just spray the walls inside. I do stuff like this when my bread is rising. I've not made a mess so far. Yay! And here is some honey that we had from our bees. And we're working on this one. It's got the comb in it. You can see the honeycomb in there. We also stopped in Georgia on the way home from Florida. And we got big bags of pecans. So the next I'm gonna do those. You can see what I do in between my bread rising time. Okay, I'm gonna be bagging the rest of these pecans. I'll be bagging those to put in the freezer, and then I'll have pecans all year. And it's also a nice gift to give away or put it in a gift basket around Christmas time or something. And yeah, you can always have pecans if you want to make pecan pie or whatever you might use it in. Some put them in chocolate chip cookies. They're cracked up and you see the nut meats in there, but the shells are still there too. Some of the shells have been blown out, but the nut meats are kept. So it's fairly easy to go through there and just make sure all the like this shell, all that would be thrown away. So yeah, you'll just spend a few minutes to separate them from the shells. You don't need a nutcracker hardly or anything. So it's what they call cracked and blown. And they're organic, completely organic, and they're so pretty. That one had my name on it. This one does too. They're so pretty. Look at that big one. Now let's check the bread. Ooh, it's getting big. About 5 more minutes. Now we're going to finish the other bag. Time to do the bread. And here's my bowl of bread. There it is. It's coming up the top. And again, I'll take some olive oil and oil my hands just a little bit. Just put a little puddle of oil on my palm. And I go like that, rub it on my hands, and the dough doesn't stick to my hands when I get the center thing out. Now, we'll get the dough out, pinch it off. That's a little small. Let's put another piece there. And another loaf. I think that'll be about the right size for that. I don't weigh them because it's not commercial or anything, it's just for here at home. So I'm just taking it out. That feels a little bit big for a loaf here. Now, I'm gonna knock this one down. The bubbles out of it. Fold it in the bottom. Just do that, fold it in the bottom. Pinch it shut, pinch each end in like that and fold it in the bottom. And it's ready to put in your pan. Just bottom side down where the folding is done, and you press it down like that. Same way with this one. Pinch it in the bottom, stretch it from the top to make it smooth, go like that. Pinch down in there and pinch them all down in the bottom and pinch it tight, really tight, right like that. And you knock the bubbles out. Plop it in your pan. Now we're gonna do the pinching together again, starting from the top, making it smooth. Bring it in the bottom. That's all you do on that one. Then I'll just take this and take my fork to any bubbles that would be there. I just poke it one side up and down the other and a couple in the middle, and that should take care of any more bubbles. You poke them all the way through the dough down to the bottom. And now we're gonna let them set until the pans are full, probably about 30 minutes. And then I'll bake them for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Well, it's probably another 15 minutes till the bread is ready to bake. In the meantime, I'll be bagging, boxing. I finished bagging, but boxing the pecans. I guess it's all in a day's work. Of my honey is ready. See, it's all down in the bottom. Now I can just scrape that in and see if I can get this in here without making a mess. Now, since I'm gonna go get groceries, I'm gonna have to work ahead a little bit here. Racks to set the bread on right here once it comes out of the oven. And I'm just gonna make this tonight with the hamburger sauce and tomatoes and onions and stuff that I put in there. I'm gonna make a homemade sauce to put on it with the hamburger. And then I'll get some lettuce and we'll have a lettuce salad with that. Probably a Caesar salad. So that's the plan for tonight. So now for the spaghetti. Put a dribble of olive oil in so it doesn't boil over so bad. Now we're going to add a little more water. And this is bacon grease that I had from frying bacon. So I'm going to put it in the bottom of my hamburger to fry it in and give my spaghetti a good taste. I'm going to set it in hot water right in my sink. It's a nice onion. I'll use half of it for my spaghetti tonight. And then I cut them the other way. And that'll give my onion dicey. Ooh, the bread's rising. Let's take a peep at the bread. Look at that. You don't want to set it down hard or anything like that because that will make the yeast rising go down. That's about the same height. And then we'll put that in the oven and bake it. It's 1 o'clock, so it'll be about ready to go in the oven in 5 minutes or so. In the meantime, I'll continue making my supper here so it's ready when I get home. I will use this little chopper, some sea salt, some cracked black pepper, and some garlic powder on it, on the hamburger with it. So I'll just add a good garlicky taste with that and just kind of cover it with the powder and the black pepper. And that's what that looked like. I just put them in that skillet dry and I'm going to drop them in the hot water. Chopping the meat. Oh, those onions are getting a little dark down in there. And I did buy this one to put in the pasta. This ragu sauce to it and pour it right in there. Rinse out all that other goop in there and pour it in my noodles. Now we'll just stir that. So I'll just pour it in there. Bit of it. I don't make noodles, white noodles, very often at all, so this will be a treat for my family. I'm gonna put this chunky salsa in here with the meat and stir it around with the meat and the tomatoes and just put it on top with some Parmesan cheese and just put a little sprinkle of it all across the top. Probably about a half cup altogether. And I'm going to mix this meat up. Put about a half a pack in there. I might have to add more just before I serve it, but for now it'll be like this. Okay, I've got it all covered up here. And now we're gonna put that in the oven when the bread comes out and leave it in there on 150 or 200 degrees. Look at that, isn't that pretty? It's nice and brown on the bottom, especially on this side. Let's try this one. Yeah, that one's nice and tan on the bottom too. Set it on here, set it like that. Ooh, it's hot. We'll just leave that bread there to cool. And that'll be 3 nice loaves. have 20 minutes to Kroger, so I'd better be getting a move on here. Okay, I'll let you see what I got in my town run. And it was, yeah, I'll just let you see what I have here. And it wasn't as much as sometimes, but still things that we needed, and I didn't find exactly everything I was looking for, but it's okay. Here are the grapes that I got. Put some up here, and they were asking for fresh fruit, so I got some grapes and bananas, and apples, and some sour cream. Here's cucumbers that were on sale, cherry tomatoes for salad. Just got a couple little containers of yogurt because I didn't have the plain Greek yogurt. Here is some sweet potato fries. Cheating on that one. So now, I guess everything is now out of the bag. So, okay, back from getting the groceries, and I've got our spread right here, and we're gonna eat in a few minutes. Two of my guys are going for a meeting tonight, so I don't know that we can have a family picture of us sitting at the table, but we'll do the best we can. There's my casserole. Got some jam to go with the bread and some butter. And here I sliced some of the white bread right there. This looks yummy. So I'll be mixing this with the Caesar dressing, and then they'll put those on top. Hey, I hope you liked that video. It's not like this every day. However, I hope you liked it. I hope you will like and subscribe and give me ideas on what I could do different on my video. I will not forget the sourdough bread. That one's still coming up. But everything said and done, from baking the bread, going to town, and making my supper and having it in the oven, 200 degrees, so it's ready when I get home, is all in a day's work, I guess. What else could you call it? Love y'all. See you in the next video.
Take me back to the old dirt road where Mama and Papa used to go. Let's sing all them songs from a long time ago and pine for them old days of yore.